Her own mother looked her in the eyes and said her sister stole her identity for years. And probably figured she wouldn't mind. 200 people, one microphone, one wedding reception that was about to become the most unforgettable night of everyone's life. And I promise you, this story gets so much worse. Okay, so here's who we're dealing with. 2 sisters. The older one? Golden child. Shining. Favored. The one who got the soft landing every single time. The younger one? The quiet one. The bookish one. The one who learned early that fading into the background was just easier than fighting for a spotlight that was never gonna be hers anyway. She had made her peace with that. She really had. Or at least, that's what she told herself. Because here's the thing about families like this. The favoritism doesn't stop at, like, who got the bigger bedroom or whose recital your parents remembered to show up to. Sometimes it goes so much further. Sometimes the favorite child looks at everything the quiet one has and just takes it, not metaphorically, literally. It started with letters, credit card applications she never submitted, a gym membership in a city she had never been to in her life, a car loan attached to her name like a parasite that had been feeding for years before she even noticed it was there. And here's where I need you to understand what that actually means in real life. This isn't just like, annoying paperwork. This woman spent months, grueling, soul-crushing months, on the phone with credit bureaus, filing reports, writing letters, trying to convince strangers that no, she is not responsible for this wreckage, that this wasn't her, that someone had been wearing her name like a costume and spending money she didn't have. A detective traced it back to someone using her childhood home address. She already knew what that meant before she made a single call. So she goes to her parents. She goes to them hoping, expecting, outrage, backup, some version of, oh my God, we are so sorry, we are going to fix this. Because that's what parents are supposed to do. Right? Right? Her mother's response. And I need you to brace for this. Her mother told her, with a completely straight face, that her sister hadn't thought she would mind. I'm sorry. What? She didn't think you'd mind. She didn't think stealing your identity, destroying your credit score, and gutting your entire financial life would be a big deal. She didn't consider it. Because of her sister's choices. This woman's credit was so destroyed she could not qualify for a rental apartment. She slept on a friend's couch for the better part of a year. Landlords turning her away one after another. She had no financial safety, no stability, no foundation. Because her sister had taken a wrecking ball to everything while their parents quietly looked away. And the sister's response when confronted directly? A 2-sentence text. Roughly. Sorry things got out of hand. I'm working on myself now. No call. No explanation. No acknowledgement of the scale of damage she'd left behind. Okay, so, life moves on. Because it always does. Even when it absolutely should not. The sister gets engaged. And not just engaged. She gets engaged to, by all accounts, a genuinely good man, kind, solid, and, here's the part our narrator clocked immediately, generationally wealthy. The timing of the sister's sudden personal transformation and the appearance of this particular man? Not lost on her, not even a little bit. But here's what was really eating her alive. He didn't know. This good man had no idea who he was actually marrying, what she had done, what she was capable of. The family had closed ranks, buried the secret, and he was about to legally bind his life and his finances to someone who had spent years committing identity fraud against her own sister without a single genuine moment of remorse. Can you imagine sitting with that information? Knowing what you know, watching this wedding get planned, watching this man fall in love with a version of your sister that might not be real? She had chances to tell him privately before the wedding. She knows that. She said it openly, without making excuses. She didn't take those chances. Partly because she was scared her sister would find out. Spin the story first. Discredit her before she could show him any proof. But also, and she was honest about this, part of her wanted witnesses. People in that room who couldn't be manipulated after the fact. People who would remember. People who couldn't be gaslit into a different version of the truth once the doors closed. So she showed up to the wedding. And she waited. Open toast portion of the reception. 200 people. Champagne in hand. The kind of room that feels warm and safe and full of love. She stood up. Her hands were shaking. She had a prepared speech. She didn't use it. She just spoke. Clearly. Directly. Without performance. She told the room she loved her sister. She meant it. And then she told them the truth. That this woman had stolen her identity. That she had dismantled her financial life over a period of years. That their parents had protected her from every consequence. And that the man sitting at that head table deserved to make an informed choice about who he had just married. Silence. Not the polite kind. The kind that only happens when something truly irreversible has just occurred. The kind where you can hear the air in the room change. Her mother started screaming. Her father grabbed her arm. The groom sat completely still, staring at his new wife, with an expression she says she will carry with her for the rest of her life. She left. She blocked everyone. Her mother, her father, her sister, every family member who called her evil. And there were a lot of them. She kept one contact unblocked. The groom. 3 days later, he reached out asking for documentation. She sent him everything. Police reports, records, all of it. Every piece of paper she had spent months collecting to prove that her own sister had stolen her life. The honeymoon didn't happen. The status of the marriage? She genuinely doesn't know. Nobody's told her. She's been cut off completely. Now, here's where it gets complicated. Because 2 of her closest friends told her she'd timed it for maximum damage. That she could have been more private about it. That the flower girls at that wedding were crying. Little kids who had nothing to do with any of this. Standing in the wreckage of an adult disaster. And that image has stayed with her. She said it specifically bothers her. Those kids. That's the part she carries. She doesn't regret telling the truth. She doesn't regret protecting a man who walked into that marriage completely blind. But she isn't totally sure she can separate the version of herself that wanted justice from the version that wanted witnesses. She's sitting with both of those things at the same time, and she's not cleaning it up into a neat little bow. And honestly, that ambiguity is the most real thing about this entire story. Because what do you do when the people who were supposed to hold someone accountable chose silence? Every single time? When the system failed, the family failed, and a 2-sentence text was supposed to be enough? When you've been carrying the damage for years while everyone else moved on like nothing happened? How much does it matter how you finally tell the truth? When you've been trying to tell it forever and nobody listened? Here's what I need from you right now. She knew she could have warned him privately before the wedding. She admitted it. No excuses. But she stood up in that room in front of 200 people instead. Was that the wrong move? Or was it the only move that was ever actually going to work? Drop your verdict in the comments. Full send. I want your honest read on this because our team has been going back and forth and we genuinely cannot agree. And next up, a story that made our entire team go completely silent. Nobody said a word for like 30 seconds. You do not want to miss it. Subscribe so you never miss a single drop of drama. Stories shared on this channel are inspired by real experiences posted online. All details have been anonymized and rewritten. Any resemblance to specific individuals is coincidental.